Hi, my name is Bill Petrie, and I teach at Rangeview High School in Aurora, Colorado. Rangeview High School is a large urban high school contiguous with but just east of Denver, Colorado. What follows is a mostly unscripted student perspective on the course Computer Science Principles, a project Lead the Way. I say mostly unscripted because I did give students some direction. I asked them to tell you their names, how much experience they had with computers before starting the course, and what were some of the things they liked about the curriculum. Additionally, I asked them to make a screencast of the material they enjoyed the most. Each of their screencasts follows their introductions. The intention of these screencasts was not to allow you to follow the logic of their code. In fact, you might find it difficult to do so. Rather, it was to provide you with an opportunity to informally gauge the fluency of their understandings by listening to their descriptions. This is not a cinematic masterpiece. My intention was to show you an unfiltered student perspective. If you listen closely, you will be able to answer the following questions. Is there a genuine enthusiasm for the material? Did there seem to be a degree of proficiency with the material, perhaps reflected in the fluency of their descriptions of their code? Are you able to gauge differences in native abilities by listening to their speech patterns and their vocabulary? And were you able to detect ways in which I or you could differentiate the instruction? Thank you for attending this webinar. I hope that you're patient with my documentary skills and that you are able to get something out of this in terms of whether or not this would be appropriate for your students. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Tyler. Before coming to this class, I had above average experience with computers. What I really enjoyed was the Python, the HTML, and I even did a little bit of work with the Amazon Alexa. Here's some of my Python code.
Okay, so this is Canopy. It's just a Python. You can run Python through it, and Python's one of the codes. So what this program does is it creates an image that is modified. So it was our final originally for Ms. Peach's class. If I go over here, this is the image it's going to create. It wants to draw a circle around Mr. Peach's riding his bike. So if we close that, go back to our program down here, and I go ahead and run it. Basically, all this does is this is going to set the circle around him. This images is going to find the image file, and then circle Petri2 is what's going to do the actual process. So if we just clear this window, and then if we go circle Petri2 and hit enter, we're going to get this weight, and then we're going to go back to our files. And as you can see, if we go back to other, we had Petri, and then we didn't have this. But if we go to modified, it made this folder where we put the circle around Mr. Petri.
Hi, my name is Adele, and before taking this class, I had a little bit of experience with computers, and it was mainly about like hardware and like assembling computers. So I took this class to learn about programming. We did Python, PHP, and Scratch, and we did a lot more, but Scratch was one of my favorites, and this is one of the things that I created. Hi, what I'm displaying here is Scratch, and I really like Scratch due to the fact that it's a free, fun, and simple site to create all sorts of games on. This is one of the games that I've created, and it's called a platform game. Your objective is to get from one side to the blue spinning star without interfering with the red blocks. And if you interfere with the red blocks, your level will restart and your timer will also restart. This piece of code right here is to make the ball jump, and I'm going to change the jump height and speed to 15, and the ball will jump a lot higher, as you can see here. And I'm going to bring it down to 5, and the ball will jump a lot lower, as shown here.
Hi, my name is Blake, and before taking this class, I knew an average amount as a usual person would know about computer programming. What I really liked about computer programming was Python and HTML, but what I really liked most was Scratch programming, and let me show you some of my work. Alright, so I chose a game that I programmed on Scratch. It's a very easy and simple game. All you have to do is just avoid the spritz and you win. So I chose this game because I programmed this a couple of months ago, and I felt like I worked really hard on it, even though it may not be much. Just show you some of the coding that I worked on in this game. and that is why I chose this game. I felt like I did a good job on it, and better than nothing, I guess.
Hi, my name is Daniela, and I only knew a little bit of HTML when I started taking this class. But what I really liked is that I learned more about JavaScript and PHP, which helped me implement more things into my code. So let me show you more.
So I created an app in order to check a student's attendance. Basically, in this HTML, it just asks for a series of information. So like first name, last name, phone number, email, and some of like the student's information. But for that information to be stored, I had to create a database on MySQL. So these are some of the databases that I already had, but for this one specifically, I used users, that's down here. Within that database, I created a table. And mine is called information, and I just stored up the information that I got from the HTML down here. So just in that table, I created a series of fields and the type of information that will be eventually put into there. And so in the HTML, as soon as the user fills up all the slots, they click a button and it runs a function called check. That function is then in JavaScript, and this is basically what it does, and it just verifies that all the information is correct, that it matches, and that it's all filled in. And as soon as that happens, it logs into MySQL through a language called PHP, and after that, it makes sure that all the information that was answered by the user gets put into each one of these fields down here, and it just stores that information in there. What I thought was really cool was that I learned a little bit from all these languages, but then I got to put it all together in one app that I did. So I think that is really useful, especially like knowing how to make a database, because we have databases all over the place. So it's cool to like know a little bit, but it's really useful as well.
My name is Hunter. Before this class, I knew nothing about computer programming. I just played a lot of video games. The main thing in this class that I enjoyed was the plethora of languages that we were allowed to use when it came to creating websites. And let me show you my attendance tracker.
Hello and welcome to my Cloud9 page. My name is Hunter Irwin, and over the course of this class, one of the assignments that we were tasked with completing was creating a web page in which we could create and store certain login credentials and send them to a database. And my favorite part about this assignment is probably just the amount of freedom that we had when it came to what we could do with our website and how we could make it look, and just the overall creativity that we had when it came to creating this. And for me, when it came to the coding aspect, I just really liked the plethora of languages we were allowed to use. We weren't forced to create the whole thing with just one language. We were able to use JavaScript, PHP, CSS, and HTML, and other ones if we liked. And for me, the most challenging aspect was definitely getting the PHP databases with MySQL to link up with the JavaScript and our HTML page. So if we come on over to our submit PHP, we have where it says this right here, the database name. This is where it will send all the information that we place into the fields on the web page. That is where the local host, that's what's going to be sent to, is that database. And if you go here, over to the web page. If I were to log in with all of the credentials needed, let's just kind of filter this stuff. Put all these in, make sure the passwords match. Alright, and if we go to register me, you will see that it says you sent all the information. And so where it sent it to is the database, the MySQL server name, which is the user's info. So that is where my info was sent to, from the web page to the database. And that right here is just a little taste of what you're going to be able to get when you sign up for this class. It's a lot of learning. It's not the easiest class, but I will say it's very worth it, and it is an enjoyable class.
Hi, my name is Nathan. I originally took this class only because it was at the AP level, and my experience was little to none. But what I found was there great variety of different computer programs, and the creative methods that each program or language got to use. One that I specifically liked was Python, and I just want to show you the creative uses for it that I got to use.
Alright, well this is the mask.py program that allows you to take any downloaded image and be able to place upon it a mask or any color or shape or border that you want. Alright, so what I'm quickly going to do is input the command code that runs this program and show off the kind of results that you can get when you run it. So over here you can see it just editing all the different images that we have on file. Alright, so now that it's done with everything, I'm going to go over to my file that has all these images. But now they have created a new folder named modified, and in it you have the new images. So with this you have each corner of the image rounded off into a smooth circle-ish pattern. And then let's go back and we can compare it to some of the old versions, which are squares and left untouched by the program. The best part I found about it was how easy it became to understand, especially with these hashtags over here. You can just understand what kind of shapes you're using. So you know that you're drawing a polygon on the image and you're drawing an ellipse on the image. And another fun part was the fact that you didn't get to just put in random coordinates on the image, but you had to find more creative ways to pinpoint stuff, certain points on the picture that you wanted to edit out.
Hello, my name's Nick. Before this class, I had about an average amount of computer experience. I joined because it seemed like an interesting STEM class. I enjoyed visualizing things with Python and the number of languages it taught, such as Python and JavaScript. Let me show you some of that code. This is a program made in the Python programming language that goes through a list of data from the U.S. Census Bureau about names and their frequency. It goes through them and displays it in a graph like this. The data is stored in a simple file like this, where you can see the name and how many people were named it in that year. You can go through the program and change things. So instead of the name Juan, you could have Nick. You can also go down here and change this so it appears different on the graph. This is fun because it allows you to visualize data in a simple to understand way with interesting code that is easy to use and learn.
Hi, my name is Nikolai, and I had moderate experience in computer science before I came to Mr. Pichi class. Most favorite things to do in this class was Python and HTML, but what I liked more it was NetLogo, and let me show some of work I have done in this class.
NetLogo is most interesting app that you will learn in Mr. Pichi class because you can simulate anything that you want from real life. And I want to show you an app that called Mammons from NetLogo library, and you can simulate life of humans and mammons together. Some of the interesting part of codes is right here about dying, and I will show you how it's work. You can choose any parameters right here, from speed to odds of killing, and change climate change, and you can set up it and just set go, and program will simulate it for you.
Hi, my name is Oliver, and before I joined this class, I had minor experience with Python. I came to this class to learn how to program more languages, program Python better. So far, obviously I enjoyed Python, but we've also learned HTML and Scratch, which I've also enjoyed. In fact, speaking of Python, here's one of my programs. I'll show you it.
Hello there. This is a program that we learned how to program in Python. What this does is that it takes information from a spreadsheet and puts it onto a map. Alone, it'll make a map like this. Each of these circles is an earthquake. The differently colored ones are ones that happen to be above 6.5 magnitude, which means they're deeper underground. You can easily modify any variable in this to suit your needs. For example, you can change the radius. Let's switch this to 3000. This will make the circles way abnormally larger. You can also change the color. You can switch this from FF to 00, and likewise. Upon doing this, I changed everything to red. And orange, apparently. What it does is that it takes information from the spreadsheet's different rows, such as 1, which is latitude, as proven here, and marks them on the graph. This wasn't necessarily fun to learn, but it was interesting. It took me a lot of time, and to be honest, I think it was well worth the effort to learn. Very interesting what machines can do and what you can learn from them.
Hi, my name is Tyler, and after going through the computer science course, I became confident enough with JavaScript that Ms. Petrie pointed me in the direction to learn the Amazon Alexa skills, and this is my program. Alexa, open Choose Your Own Story.
Say, I want to choose a story.
I want to choose a story.
You wake up one morning, and everyone has disappeared. Do you call the police, or do you ignore it and follow your normal routine?
Normal routine.
You follow your normal routine and notice that the colors of all your school items are inverted. Do you try to investigate the weird colors or ignore the colors?
Ignore the colors.
You ignore the weird coloring of your supplies and decide to go to school like you normally would. When you get there, the building is completely empty. Do you go home or find free food?
Go home and find free food.
You leave school and try to find free food. When you do, you eat as much as you can and pass out from eating rotten food. When you awake, you are on a large seat with aliens surrounding you. You understand just enough of what is happening to realize you are their god. The end. If you would like to restart, say, restart.
Cancel.
Goodbye.
Okay, thank you very much for being here today. I just want to ask you a couple of questions so that you can share your thoughts and opinions with our audience. So, what did you like about the course? Can anybody mention what you liked about the course? Okay, go ahead, Oliver.
The different programming languages.
And by different, you mean the variety, or?
Variety.
Okay, can you name some of them?
Python, there was HTML, PHP, JavaScript.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, Tyler?
I liked that we weren't exactly pointed in the right direction. We weren't handheld. It was kind of unguided on your own, but there was like some things to help us. We got to teach ourselves almost.
Okay, great. Anybody else? Okay.
I really like the variety of things that we had to build to see like what we like and stuff.
So you like to find your preferences?
Yes.
So why did you take the course?
I saw it as an opportunity to take an AP course, and computer science was really something that I liked. And the creativity as I got into the course was everywhere, and that was one of the best perks.
Okay. Anybody else? Daniela?
I took it because there's not a lot of females in the STEM field, and I felt like I should do it.
That you'd have more opportunities?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Anyone else? Okay, Blake.
So, back when I was at Hinckley, I wanted to take programming, but I couldn't because I moved here, and I didn't get a chance for like a year. And I was really interested in programming and computers, so I really just wanted to do it as soon as possible.
Anybody else?
I took this class to see how programming works, to see like how websites, games, and many other things are built.
Okay, good. Anyone else? Okay, what did you not? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Hunter.
Much like Adol, I played a lot of video games on the computer, and I thought that it'd be interesting to see how, like, what goes into the video games and the stuff that I use on my computer.
Interesting. Anything you didn't like about the course?
When we had to take notes, you would kind of go on, and it would kind of be challenging to keep up with you.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, Nikolai.
Usually, when we take notes, you want to sleep because it's so much information for you, and your brain cannot work normally, and you just go to sleep in the middle of process.
Okay, so how many of you thought there was a lot of information thrown at you? Okay. How did you handle it, all that information? What was the best way to handle that information? What was the best way to learn? Go ahead.
Notes.
Taking notes? Anyone else have a method? Nathan, what about you?
I think you actually provided us with a lot of resources that we could use, and we also had each other. Like, that was a great thing to have. Being able to sit like next to somebody that you could bond over or like face a problem together.
So you like to pair programming?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Any of you plan on pursuing computer science in college or in career? Okay. Hunter, what do you plan on doing?
I plan on going in somewhere in the computer engineering field.
Okay.
And seeing what I can use in this class and programming there.
Xavier, how about you?
The School of Mines in Colorado has really proved to have good computer science courses, so I'm hoping to go there.
Daniela, how about you?
Well, like I said previously, the STEM field offers a lot of opportunities, especially for like brown girls. So it's something that I want to take advantage of.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for being here and sharing your opinions.